Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly, play-by-play voice of the Charlotte Rush. We're at the Extreme Ice Center here at Indian Trail, North Carolina, the home of the Charlotte Rush. And we're in the coach's office right now. We're going to talk Charlotte Rush Elite Hockey. And to do that, let's bring in the head coach of the Charlotte Rush Elite team, and that is John Turner. And John, kind of a mixed bag this past weekend. We dropped the first game of our two-game series with Atlanta. We lost the game 5-3, but you were down 4-1 and came back and got it to 4-3. So a little bit of props for the guys. I know we didn't like falling behind, but at least they fought and got it to within one goal in the third period.
Yeah, they did show some resilience. It was just a little too little, a little too late. Biggest thing, though, is that when you're playing against a skilled team, like Atlanta's progressed to being, you just have to hunt pucks. You have to support pucks. You have to move your feet to support pucks. You have to move your feet to take away options. You have to do the dirty work in front of the net. You have to play a team with speed. You have to take away their time and space and play hard. And we just didn't do that. And then we got it together towards the end, and it was just not enough. The biggest thing is, my 0-1s and my 0-2s, I can't rely on them being some of my go-to scoring guys, and that's on the 98s and 99s, which, Dunn's line and those guys have been great, but when those guys aren't on, there's some couple other lines that have to step up. I can't look at my bench and say, well, I think my 0-1s and my 0-2s are my best chance of scoring right now. Good on them, but that's not where we want to be.
Right. So you're looking for some more secondary scoring.
Exactly.
All right, great. And then Luke Fox was in goal on Saturday, and of course, not all the goals were his fault, but just talk about his play.
He was fairly consistent. I don't think the goals were on him, in particular the goals, but just wasn't himself. Wasn't tracking the puck well. His body language, just a little bit of everything was off in a sense. Like his movements weren't crisp. He just didn't react to rebounds as quick as he usually did. He went a little bit back to his old aggressive style of playing, too over-aggressive. And I think it came and got him there at the end.
John Turner, head coach of the Charlotte Rush Elite, joining us on this video Wednesday, October 31st. We're talking about the two games this past weekend against Atlanta. But, John, it was a big bounce back for you on Sunday. You got goals from 5 different players. Think about that shorthanded goal from Julian Miranda. That was a big one. Andrew Nagowski played steady in net, but talk about the highlights of the come-from-behind win. Ironically, the same score that Atlanta beat the Rush on Saturday, the Rush came back and beat Atlanta by the same score.
Absolutely, and it was a little bit of the opposite. We moved a little bit more to support pucks. We seemed to have a little more of a will to win. We went to the net hard. We got some second, third opportunities. My only problem with it is we're still struggling against a good team, especially the teams in our division. We're still struggling to put a full 60 minutes together. I think if we put a full 60 minutes together against a team like that, we win decisively. And that's my biggest goal moving forward, is just being able to take it one shift at a time, 1 5-minute increment at a time, and put a full game together, just like we try to put full days together during the week with practice.
Sure. Well, John, again, with these young guys, how do you get them to play that 60 minutes? What's the scheme? Because, again, these guys are young. They're still learning their trade. So are there any big keys to try to get them to play that 60 minutes a game?
I'd say we're in the trial and error phase. A little more error at this point, obviously. But you just got to try different things. I've been trying a little more self-talk on the bench. Making sure they have intentions every time they step on the ice, taking one shift at a time, and being able to, in a sense like a golfer, being able to throw your last shot out and focus only on the next shot in front of you, because we get wrapped up in what happened, thinking too far behind us. Just self-talk and taking it one shift at a time is where we're at right now with it.
All right, great. Well, John, unfortunately, injuries are a part of the game, and we got stung a little bit this past weekend. Kieran St. Ange with an injury. A little bit of good news with him, though. I don't have an update on Kyle Prestis. A lot of folks have been asking. So what can you tell us about those two injuries that happened this weekend?
Kieran, broken wrist. Doesn't sound like he's going to have surgery. I know he had an appointment with a surgeon today, so that's a big one. He's been great for us. Especially at his age. He's one of the future of our program, I would say, and he's a great kid. So you hate to see that to him, and he's just coming back from an ankle injury, so that's tough to watch. But Kyle, he's having a tough time. He had some fractured bones in his face, pretty major concussion. Been in and out of the hospital a bit. They actually had to move him to downtown hospital, which is obviously a little more serious. He came into the rink today and said hey to the boys. He seems a little bit more with it. For the past few days, I've been in and out of the hospital checking on him a bit, and he seemed a bit out of it. Obviously, when you take that big of a blow to the head, there's nothing you can really do. You're going to be out of it for a bit. But he seems to be in better spirits today, much more promising today. And he's a pretty tough, resilient kid. So I think if anybody's going to be back quick, it'll be him for sure.
Okay, so there is a chance he'll be able to come back and play. Of course, we just don't know when with the concussion monitorization and all of that, correct?
Absolutely. Bones in the face, bones anywhere in the body, those can heal. Obviously, you got to be extra careful with your head. That doesn't really bounce back like most things. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks, John, for that update, and certainly keep Kieran St. Ange and Kyle Prestis in your thoughts and prayers as they recover and hopefully get back in the Rush lineup soon. Well, Potomac Patriots are coming to town this weekend, John, and right now at the elite level, they're struggling. They're looking for their first win, and I guess, in my opinion, that can pose a couple of problems for us. Number one, how do you motivate your guys when a team's coming in 0-15? But also the danger is they're hungry for their first win, and we don't want it to be against us.
Exactly. We don't want to have that perfect storm happen to us. So the biggest thing with me is actually more this week, not the weekend. Anytime you play a team where he had 80 shots against them the last time he played them in a showcase 50-minute game, you really have to keep the guys away from complacency, especially a young group. That's my biggest goal for the week, is taking one practice at a time and not letting the guys get complacent. Obviously, no matter who we play on the weekend, we're still trying to get better every day, and we still have a bigger goal and a championship in our minds. So taking one day off takes us a step away from that championship. So again, no matter who we play, we've got to take it one day at a time, compete, be focused, and win a day every day.
Thank you, John. John Turner, head coach of the Charlotte Rush Elite, visiting with us on this video Wednesday, October the 31st. John, one last comment, and get a comment from you, but I want to pass this along because it's very encouraging. But in the intermissions of our broadcast, I turn that over to my intern, so I've got 10, 12, 15 minutes, and a lot of times I go talk to the parents. I see them there watching a game, and I just want to tell you, I've heard so many good things from the parents. I always ask them, hey, how does your son like the Rush? And it's always positive. I had a great talk with the Blevins family over the weekend. Also had a great talk with the Brindell family and some others. And just, I never hear a bad thing. The parents are saying, man, this is great. My son loves it. So I know that's good encouragement for you and Lenny and John Keating.
Absolutely. And I would say I would attest that to the program that Ryan Crothers has put in place. And then I'd like to give the credit to Strickler and the rest of the guys. He has that room on point. They're a very tight group. They go do things almost every night together. So that's all their work. And again, you can't have a better program that Ryan has put together to where it just takes care of itself. So it's great to be a part of that.
Well, good. Congrats to Ryan and you and Lenny and John Keating. Just love to hear those good reports from the parents. So, All right, well, John Turner's been joining us, the head coach of the Charlotte Rush Elite. And, John, we got a one-game winning streak. We'll try to make it 3 this weekend, hopefully with a couple of wins against the Potomac Patriots. Thank you so much for your insights and all you've been able to share with us.
Thanks so much, Tim. I really appreciate it.
All right, John Turner, head coach of the Charlotte Rush Elite. Don't forget, we play on 5 o'clock this Saturday against Potomac, also 9:20 on Sunday. And don't forget to go to our social media platforms for additional information on the Charlotte Rush. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our Charlotte Rush website, and also our Charlotte Rush YouTube channel. Thanks to Matt Deeren, our cameraman today from the Carolina School of Broadcasting. And I'm Tim Donnelly, play-by-play voice of the Charlotte Rush. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.